Hi, my Candy Beauty fam. So today we are here with an it girl. She is a PR and brand marketer. She is the founder of the McHenry Community Arts Fellowship. She's a philanthropist. And y'all, to top it off, she's a model. So let's welcome Maya McHenry to the Mind Candy Beauty fam. Hi, Maya.
Hi, Lyric.
Yay, thank you so much for being here. We're super excited and, of course, honored to have you.
I feel the same.
Yay! So we're gonna jump right into it. Let the people know who you are.
Yeah.
So I really want to start with your story. So this is a broad question, but up to you to answer it however you want. But it's who is Maya McHenry, and what initially drew you to the world of PR, and when did you realize you really had that gift for shaping and creating narratives?
Yeah, so I've always liked working with talent.
Mhm.
Always was something that kind of came naturally to me. And when I was in middle school, I got invited to be a PA for a Nylon magazine shoot. And that first day, people actually thought that I was a lot older than I was
Mhm.
because I just felt so comfortable and it came so naturally to me.
But she gives so young, y'all.
Uh,
Like, take it in, taking
Thank
the
you.
skin.
Thank you guys. Yeah, after that shoot, they actually, when my mom came to pick me up, they were like, "Can we hire her for another shoot?" We were like, "Sorry, she's too young, but maybe when she's older."
Mhm.
And yeah, it was just something that just felt like I was supposed to do this. Like I know I'm supposed to work with talent on some capacity. I didn't know exactly like what that would look like, but I
Mhm.
knew that I loved working with people and building like meaningful stories.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, yeah. And to
Mhm.
start so young, which like really shows that like you have the gift and you always have that in you. So
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So staying in that vein, right?
Mhm.
So you've consulted on PR and brand strategy for iconic names and brands like Versace, Pattern Beauty, Teen Vogue, Nike, like the list goes on and on and on, guys. So when you're helping shape these narratives for brands, of that caliber, like
Mhm.
what guides your approach, and how do you ensure that your work still aligns with your own personal brand?
Yeah, one thing for me is like, and I learned this in college through my photography teachers, was that she said, Maya, you have to have a signature. You have to stand out. You
Hmm.
have to be different from everybody else, or nobody will notice you. So I don't like doing things or building narratives that everybody else is doing. I always want to stand out and I always want to work on something that nobody else is doing,
Hmm.
something that sparks emotion and meaning. And when it comes to building those narratives for brands to that caliber, they'll usually give you something very specific.
Hmm.
They'll usually be like, okay, this is what we want, and we would love to know like what your vision is for this. For me, is I of course try and make sure that I am building a narrative that they want, but I also put my own little Maya tweak to
Yeah,
it.
because I was about to say, like, do you have any space to play? Do they give you that
Yes,
room?
for sure, for
Hmm.
sure. Especially like with my clients, especially, which is really, really nice. But yeah, for me is I really like to create emotionally engaging narratives. So I am really big on emotional intelligence and just like starting
Hmm.
that conversation, especially in this industry. I feel like it's not brought up many times, and emotionally intelligent storytelling is so powerful. For example, if Pattern Beauty came to you and was like, "We are building a campaign for like one of our new product launches,"
Hmm.
I would suggest wanting to see like a mini docu series
Yeah.
of a mother and their daughter, using the products together and talking about, how much they love the products, the emotional connection they have with the products. I would also love to see a mother with their son,
Hmm.
doing their makeup together and doing their hair together. Something that really tells a story but sparks emotion other
Hmm.
than just like selling the product, but selling it in a meaningful way.
And speaking of Pattern, they recently dropped their first commercial. Like, how did you feel about it? Do you feel
Yeah.
like the storytelling was spot on, or like what's your POV?
Yeah, so I have so much respect for that team just in
Hmm.
general. Amy Jackson is a really, really good friend. We grew up together, and she is the VP of marketing there. And I think under her leadership, she does a phenomenal job, as much as she possibly can, because you could have a huge position at a brand, but still not be able to play and really do the work that you truly want to do.
Yeah, because you have so many people to even still
so many
ladder up
people
to
even, accept your concept too. There's a lot of blockers, unfortunately, in this industry. Like the gatekeepers sometimes can be a lot of blockers, and they don't really do a good job at like stepping out of the box and like doing things new. People don't like to understand what they can't understand. So they get a little afraid, doing those like out of the box ideas.
Yeah.
So it is difficult to pitch those types of ideas to brands, but I think Emma Grede says it so well. Like she says she can literally pitch and sell anything at this point. And I think, again, it has to do a lot with emotional intelligence. Like when you are pitching something to someone, like there's so many things that go into that. Like I could be pitching something to someone who's, for example, a little bit more introverted. And I'm a Gemini, so I'm introverted, but I'm also super extroverted. So if I'm pitching it to someone who's maybe a little bit more calm, I'm going to match that energy with them. So again, that emotional intelligence piece, like it's so important within this industry, especially for pitching.
Yeah, you have to be able to connect with people.
You have to be able to connect with someone emotionally, and honestly, it makes the work better.
You can tell when something's authentic versus inauthentic,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like you can kind of see what's happening or what happened behind the scenes when you see kind of like that outward final product.
For sure.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier in your intro, you are an it girl and you flow seamlessly through so many different spaces. So it's like you move through fashion, beauty, and entertainment. So how do you decide which projects and people are in alignment with your purpose and brand? And what is your purpose and brand?
Yeah. Wow. Love these questions. For me, growing up, I believe my true purpose in life is exuding love and joy. So putting smiles on people's faces is really, I feel like, is my true purpose in life and why God put me on this earth. And with that being said, I try to make sure to exude that energy with pretty much anything that I do. I always try to promote love and joy and happiness. I mean, especially now, but like it's something so timeless, something that we need. We need more positive art in the world. We have so many negative, bad things already out there. We have enough of it. We need more art that is about joy and laughter and positivity. We need more of that.
Especially in these times.
So I try to incorporate that into as much as I possibly can.
And I can personally say you do a great job invoking joy, because after spending the day with you, it's like this was honestly highlight of the month. Like
Thank you
you're just
so
such
much.
an amazing soul.
Thank you. Yeah. And I try to also show up in that way too. Like when I'm working with a new brand or a new client, I'm exuding that energy. So it's not just through the work, but it's like you feel it when you meet me and you're in a room with me.
Because you kind of have to sell yourself too.
For sure.
Because it's like you're going to be like a brand is a brand, yes, but it's like you're also working with people, you're working with a person.
Exactly. Exactly. And having that balance is so important in PR, is that you can't lose yourself. You have to remember who you are. You don't want to lose the person that everybody fell in love with in the first place.
Yeah. And so PR girlies and publicists are actually really like the power behind the scenes. So what does it take to do this work well, again, while still protecting your own sense of self and not getting lost in the mix? Because it can be a lot. It's a heavy job.
It's a very, very heavy job, for sure. I mean, it's just go, 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 go. And things are just moving so fast. You have to be a great multitasker, which I've always been good at, I have to say.
I'm jealous of that, because it's like I can't send a text and do something at the same time. I'm like, sorry guys, not trying to be rude, but give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. I've always been a really good multitasker ever since I was a little girl. And it's all about balance in life with anything that you do, but especially your job. And PR takes so much out of you because you're giving so much of yourself, to other people. So you have to make sure to create that balance. My mom always tells me, when I'm doing like my skincare routines, or I'm like getting a massage or meditating, whatever I'm doing, she always just says, like, Maya, make sure to just really treat yourself and to remember not to forget about Maya. Because you can't do your work well if you're not doing well. So you could be doing, an amazing job and just kind of like losing yourself and not prioritizing yourself. And that can be easy to do in PR because the work can be so thrilling and addictive and exciting. And then there's some days where you literally just like forget to eat or you forget to drink water, just like simple things like that. And you have to remember just to like stop yourself and like ground yourself and be like, okay, wait a minute. I just did all of this today. It's time to now be with myself and treat myself, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. You got to be able to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people.
Exactly.
And I feel like even if you might not be okay mentally or something personal is going on, it's like, and you think I'm doing it all, it's like, it still comes through because you see that difference when you feel like you're in a better space. And you're like, oh, wait, you're like, I wasn't firing on all cylinders.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also just to remember to be yourself. And I know that's easier said than done, but especially in this industry, I feel like they really respect that because whenever somebody's having a conversation with me about one of our clients or, want to build something with me, that is like the number one thing that they say. They will come back to me and say like, oh, I love working with Maya because of this. It's always a very specific reason. And so I always just remember like, be yourself, and yeah, because it's hard. Sometimes you can lose yourself in this industry, and you sometimes can have so many people telling you what to say and how to act and how to show up. But when you show up just authentically, just as you, you stand out.
True.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that. And you feel better about yourself because it's like when you lose yourself in the process, it's like you start to not feel good about your work anymore. You're like, this is not why I got into this work in the first place. Like, it's not purposeful. It's hard for me to do work that's not purposeful. I can't just do something for no reason.
Agreed.
It could be one of the biggest brands or the biggest person in the world. If it doesn't like align with like my values and I'm not putting out purposeful work, I don't feel comfortable doing it.
Sometimes people say purpose over coin.
Yeah.
If you have one opportunity that might be offering a little more financially, but you have another opportunity that, might be offering slightly lower, you can still live off of it, but it gives you that purpose and you really love what you do. That sometimes is the way to go. Yeah. So of course here at Mind Candy Beauty, we really like to celebrate, uplift Black voices, Black stories, right? So your work consistently centers Black women and underrepresented creatives. So what grounds that intention for you, and how do you stay committed to it despite the industry's shifting trends and pressures and what we got going on today?
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be a really long answer.
We're here for it. We're here for it. We got all the time. We got the time.
Okay. So when I was younger, I kind of felt like the odd one out in my family. And I was very, very affectionate as a young kid. And I always gravitated towards people that were usually ignored. And I would walk up to a lot of kids with disabilities, or I would interact with elderly people, or I would interact with somebody that was getting bullied or somebody that I felt like wasn't being seen. And I would insert myself into their lives and create joy. And that could look like sometimes and this is me as a little girl. So I'm like going up to kids with disabilities and people who are deformed, telling them they're beautiful and going up to them and hugging them and kissing them. People didn't understand that.
It's like the empath in you.
Yeah. But people didn't understand that they thought it was weird, and they actually made it something really negative and creepy and weird and sexual as a little girl when I was literally just existing. Like, I was just being me and wanting to show love and give love. And my sister Lyric always told me, Maya, you're one of those special unicorns in the world that is going to make this world a better place, but people don't like to understand what they can't understand. So a lot of people aren't going to understand you because they simply can't, and they don't want to, and that's okay. But just know that you're doing nothing wrong and you are going to change someone's life one day, or multiple people one day.
Mm-hmm.
So because I had her, my best friend Elisa, my mom, my dad, all these people lifting me up and reassuring me like, Maya, you're doing nothing wrong, you're just being you, was so helpful for me. And because I was listening to other people as a young girl, I was thinking like I was doing something wrong or inappropriate. And I was bullied a lot for that, just like me being just like a very like overly affectionate person. There were even some families like at my elementary school that complained to my parents saying your child is going up to my son or my daughter and like hugging them and kissing them, and we think that's weird. So that has always been me. I've always been attracted to people who are ignored, and that's still who I am today. And with that being said, though, as I've gotten older, you know, I've learned how to establish boundaries with people. So I'm obviously not like walking up to people and like kissing them and picking them up, but I'll tell you, it's very hard for me not to, especially when I'm around kids or elderly people or just somebody that I find precious. I just want to like go up to them and hug them or like just say something to them. And sometimes that can also be something as simple as just like smiling to a stranger on the street.
I would say hello never hurts anyone. That's what my mom would always tell me.
Yeah. So that's always just been a part of who I am. And I would say when I moved to New York and I attended Parsons and Eugene Lang, I had this kind of roadblock where I was shooting for all these magazines that I really wanted to be a part of, like Nylon, Teen Vogue, CR Fashion Book, but I wasn't allowed to really do me, because as a photographer, you have a creative director there's a stylist, there's like all these people doing all these different things. And so at one point I was just like, I'm just going to start creating my own stuff and pitching it to editorial magazines and see if it gets picked up. And the first project that I did that was published was with Nylon. And it was kind of a full circle moment for me, because I shadowed that shoot for them for Pretty Little Liars literally when I was in middle school. So it was like a full circle moment for me.
Also, clock it, Pretty Little Liars.
Yes,
like,
Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
And I went to I shot a series called the New Generation Portrait Series, and it was all about underground creatives in New York. And I took these like black and white portraits of them. It almost looked like a high school yearbook. And each interview I had them incorporate something that was a part of them. So for example, I shot this photographer and like he brought his film camera in, and that was part of his self-portrait. I brought in a painter, she brought in like her spray can. So it was very like authentic, and I thought it was just like super, super cool and impactful to be able to, you know, create and highlight these amazing creatives that deserve a seat at the table.
Yeah.
And once I was done with the series, I pitched it to Nylon. I remember I went to their office that day, and of course I was thinking like, oh yeah, this probably isn't gonna get picked up.
It's always
and
the ones you don't think.
It's always the ones you don't think. And that day they picked it up. They didn't even wait a couple weeks. They didn't even say, oh, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, the dreaded "we'll get back to you."
We're like, yeah, it was like, we want it immediately. Like, we're ready to publish this.
That's
and
amazing.
that was my first published series, and it was something that I created all on my own, highlighting the people that I want to highlight, the people that I feel deserve a seat at the table. And that was so special, because you don't really get that privilege as an artist or an entrepreneur a lot of times. So yeah, that is like what really like I feel like set it off for me, where I was just like, okay, like people are responding to these narratives that I'm building. Like, I'm just gonna continue to do this. And I've seen so many successful people, you know, highlight these amazing people that deserve a seat at the table. Like Rihanna does such a phenomenal, seamless way of doing that. And a lot of people, you know, when they say they're diverse, it's like, are you really? Like, because a lot of people, you know, they're like, I'm diverse, and you just see like black and white people, you know, in their campaigns, but that's not being diverse. Diverse
It's
so
nuanced, and
right.
It's such a broad spectrum.
Right, right. So it's like, I'm attracted to campaigns when I see people with disabilities. I don't even call them disabilities. I call them superpowers. You know, like that's what I am attracted to, and what really, really excites me the most is when I get to like work, when I come up with an idea and I think that nobody's going to pick it up, and then they're just like, this is actually amazing. We want this. So yeah, it's always been like something that has just been innately just like who I am as a person. I've always just like wanted to connect with people who I didn't feel were seen.
Yeah, and I love how because I want to go back to what you said earlier about how, like, you were like this as a child and people didn't understand it, and you took something that people tried to turn into a negative, and you had such a strong support system behind you, your family, your sister, your parents, to really, like, uplift you, and it turned into your superpower, which is beautiful, and I love that.
Thank you. And my dad and my mom and my family, I mean, they did such a good job at making Lyric and I also understand that like Black people come in all different shades and all different sizes. And, you know, with my sister Lyric, she was darker than me and I was always more fair skin. So when my mom would buy us Barbies, she would buy us all types of Barbies. My mom actually didn't allow white Barbies in our house. I'm sorry.
No, because it's like, I totally feel that. Like, my parents were literally like the same way. It's like, pick that Black Barbie doll, you know?
Right. But she knew that I was going to have different experiences with different people and that Lyric was going to have different experiences with different people. And she did such a good job at explaining that to us, like literally out of the womb, and same with my dad. So I've always, you know, with any work that I do, like I am most likely working with people of color or just Black people for my personal projects, usually, to be completely honest with you. I mean, we have the best laughs, we have the best joy, we're so multifaceted, we're just the best. So it's like, you know.
That part, again, I always say, I will look at the camera and say yes to that. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So, again, staying in the realm of Blackness, the Black experience, all the things. So, as a Black woman navigating this space and the space that you're in, because it's such an amazing space and you're connected to pretty much everything in the industry. What have you learned about power, perception, and presence?
So I'll start with power. It took me a long time to feel comfortable owning my power in a room. My sister Lyric was always so good at that. Like when she walked into a room, everybody noticed her. Whereas like I was more like, no one look at me, you know? So showing up, and I think also for me is that I always would react weirdly with compliments from people, especially about my physical looks. I didn't receive that well. And a lot of times, like the teams that I was in, I was the only Black girl on the teams. So I was always just the only one. And I got so used to that. You know, I got so used to people saying like, oh, well, Maya will take this on because she's the only Black girl on the team. You know what I mean? Like this is the first company that I've been at where that is not the case. And it's such a relief, you know? And so with that being said, like it took me a while just to just get really comfortable with owning my power and saying like, yeah, I am the only Black girl on this team and I am the only person who can speak to this and I am the only person who can tell this story. And that is so powerful within itself. So owning that power and also being comfortable in my Blackness, because I was raised in a predominantly white area. I was raised in Beverly Hills. I went to a predominantly white elementary school and middle school. And a lot of my friends in school were white girls. And the friends that I grew up with were my Black girls, my girls that I grew up with that I felt, you know, they were more like family, less friends. But I definitely like went through this phase, you know, of trying to, you know, fit in and always like straightening my hair and like all of these things. I remember I went to my girlfriend's house and her sister was trying to straighten my hair and she's like, oh yeah, my sister and I, we always put our hair in these cute little braids. And
I already feel like I know where this is going, but I'm like, please continue.
And so she straightening my hair, and she's like not understanding like what's happening, and she's like
Mhm.
trying to put them in these like cute little like effortlessly like loose
Mhm.
braids, and it's just not working out. And so it's just like things like that where I definitely
Mhm.
found myself, it took me a while to really feel comfortable in my blackness
Mhm.
and wearing my hair naturally, and also just speaking up for myself with my white girlfriends, because there were times too where I would react a certain way and they would say, why are you being so aggressive, or why are you so
Mm.
angry, like,
Yeah,
you
aggressive,
know
angry, the tropes that Black women get
but
thrown
when
with.
they did it,
Mhm.
everything was fine, but once I had a reaction, it was such a big deal. So all of those experiences made me feel so much more resilient and powerful, but it took me a long time to really like understand and own my power.
Yeah.
So that's power. What was the other one?
Presence.
Presence. Okay, I
Mhm.
feel like that kind of nursed into it. So presence, showing up,
Mhm.
being sometimes in rooms where you're literally the only one.
Mhm.
Or sometimes when you're the only woman, in the room, but especially for like a young Black woman, it's just like even harder.
Yeah.
So my presence, something else I needed to get comfortable with is making my presence known in a room and in meetings. And when someone interrupts me,
Reclaiming my time.
reclaiming my
Maxine
time
Waters.
and like, can I finish my thought?
Mhm.
So taking up space and feeling comfortable with taking up space,
Mhm. Mhm.
because our presence is so powerful and special, and it's like
It is.
but it's hard to own that.
Mhm.
It took me a while to really own that.
And when you think about brands and being in these rooms and being in these meetings, it's like brands and people, they want what we have.
Yes.
Like, even when you think about campaigns, they want to tap into the culture.
Yeah.
What is the culture? We are the culture.
Yeah.
And it's just that, like, I always want to remind young Black women too, and I'll look at the camera for this too, like, remain in your power, remain in your in your truth as well, because you have so much to offer and so much to share, and sometimes people don't want you to realize your power. But
Yes.
again, we are the culture. We are what brands want.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You could have said it perfectly. And we as Black women, but just Black people in general, we're so multifaceted. We can just do it all. It's just like, even with when I first started getting into modeling, I remember there was this hairstylist who was doing my hair, and I was like, why is this girl here? She doesn't know how to do a Black girl's hair. Whereas like if it was a Black makeup artist,
Mm-hmm.
she could have done the white girl's hair, she could have done the Asian girl's hair, the Hispanic girl's hair, she could have done all of it
Yep.
in one day.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So also accepting, that power, like owning
Mm-hmm.
that, like, we are so multifaceted, we can do it all,
And
you
we and
know?
we and it's unfortunate, but we have to.
Yeah.
And I say unfortunate because our counterparts don't have to.
Yeah.
It's like there's no room for us to be quote unquote average.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Yeah.
And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are afraid of us. Like some people, they don't want to help you because they feel like you're going to surpass them. So they don't, like you just said, some people, they don't want you to know your power. They don't want
Mm-hmm.
you to know that superpower and that special gift.
Mm-hmm. And again, I always going back to the family and parents and support system, like being in those spaces when you're younger, it's so important to nurture that
Yeah.
and say, like, look, you are special.
Yeah.
Being Black is absolutely beautiful. And when you were talking about the dolls too, there was this experiment that came out years ago where they had toddlers picking dolls, and the Black toddlers would always go towards the white dolls,
Mm.
kind of showing like this is what like they think beauty is,
Yeah.
So it was just
Naturally.
yeah. When it's like, no, the Black dolls, like this is you, you are her, like
Yeah.
embrace it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I think I really appreciated that about my mom, because some kids don't even know that Black Barbies even exist.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, and she's just always, my mom has always just done such a phenomenal, I mean, out of the womb, I mean, she instilled in us, she was just like, you are a beautiful Black woman. Don't ever forget it.
I love that.
I mean, it was a constant, it was
Mhm.
everywhere. And not
Mhm.
just with my mom, but our village of people that
Mhm.
my parents raised me around. I had so many powerful Black women around me and supporting me that I could
Mhm.
look up to, which also just made me like, I am so proud to be a Black woman. I mean, my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my extended aunts,
Mm-hmm.
all of those people. I mean, yeah, it just makes me
Mm-hmm.
even more proud.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And I know there was one more, there was one last one. We did purpose, presence,
Perception.
and perception.
Perception.
So perception, so that's an interesting one. I am such an observer. I've always also been like that as a
Mm-hmm.
child. A lot of people, they will think that I don't know what's going on, but I never miss a step. I always know what's going on. I'm such an observer, and when I'm in a room, it might seem like I don't know what's going on, but I am aware of everything that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, and perception is also just like so important in this industry as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for me is when it comes to presence in PR, I with your clients sometimes you really got to show up and stand up for
Mm-hmm.
them. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times in interviews or photo shoots, they send you the questions and they send you all of these things, but sometimes the interview will pop in a question, that's
Mm-hmm.
not expected yet. And I've had, a series of different events with working with clients where sometimes they were like caught off guard about something or something kind of like rubbed us both off
Mm-hmm.
this in a different way. And I think when it comes to working in PR with your clients and also just showing up as a Black woman, like I feel like your perception is everything because
Mm-hmm.
it's also people tried to test you a lot in the industry based on your perception
Mm-hmm.
because as a Black woman they lean on you to be that person. Sometimes you're the only Black person on the team and you're like on the social media team and they're like, we're writing this post for Black History Month, like can you please check it and make sure that we're not saying anything
Mm-hmm.
that is activating or incorrect or anything like that. So they rely on you so much for your
Yep.
perception.
Mm-hmm.
So my perception is actually power, presence, and perception. All those things that you just named are three things that I was uncomfortable with as a Black woman. Now that
Mm-hmm.
I am officially like stepping into all of those spaces and owning each one of them,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew I had all of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I was special, but it's hard, as a Black woman, somebody who grew up, with the world just constantly against you and not accepting you. So you just kind of always are kind of in survival mode and you're always just kind of like trying to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, it took me a while to just like really own, all three of those elements of myself
Mm-hmm.
and just again, just like as a Black woman, it's just such a different female experience, when
Yeah.
it comes to power, presence, and showing up. I know that was a very long-winded answer
We
to your
love the
question,
long-winded.
but
Mm.
yeah, I think
It's all necessary.
yeah,
Yeah.
very, very, very
Mm-hmm.
necessary.
So shifting focus a bit, right, back
Hmm.
kind of to the industry itself.
Yeah.
So in the beauty, fashion, entertainment space, I
Mhm.
feel like the industry really loves to highlight the moment. And by the moment, I mean like that
Yes.
external moment that the world sees. But what's like a quiet behind the scenes win that you're especially proud of?
So one of my clients is We the Urban. Willie Green is the founder
Mm-hmm.
of We the Urban, and he is I call him the Maya Angelou of our generation. He
Wow.
is so powerful and was literally put on this earth to connect with people through his words.
Mm-hmm.
His words literally have the power to change your mood and mindset that day.
Mm-hmm.
So he had, if anybody follows We the Urban, it has millions and millions and millions of followers. But Willie, there was a lot of mystery behind We the Urban,
Mm-hmm.
similar to how when The Weeknd and Bryson Tiller released their first album, like their
Mm-hmm.
faces were blurred and no one knew what they actually looked like.
Yeah.
Willie's story is very similar to that. Like a lot of people would look at We the Urban and be like, oh, there's probably a whole team of people behind this brand, but it was just Willie, one young Black queer boy from a small
Mm-hmm.
town who created this all on his own.
Yep. One of my favorite IG accounts, by the way.
So
Mm-hmm.
when we signed him, he never ever had a brand dinner or never like an official event for We the Urban.
Mm-hmm.
And when we signed him and we were discussing like what would your official brand event look like, to me for something like We the Urban, it looked like something intimate. It looked like a room full of just like 10 people, like
Mm-hmm.
something very
Mm-hmm.
small scale, not some like overly produced
Produced
event,
event, yeah.
but something where you can like truly connect. And people were it was for Mental Health Awareness Month, and we partnered with Dove, Refinery 29, Topicals, and Pattern Beauty. And it was literally a dinner of 15 people, and they left the dinner saying, I felt like I just got a free therapy session.
Oh.
It was that powerful for them.
Was it like
And
discussions and
it was a couple different things. We had a private room at public hotels, and we had tailored, personalized conversation cards that Willie wrote himself for each guest. So when you got to your placemat, you had a question already at your table.
mm-hmm.
And then during that moment, when we went around to do the conversation cards, I actually didn't allow phones or content during that particular time of the event because I wanted people to be very present. And we had a couple celebrities in the room, and I wanted people to feel really comfortable being like vulnerable and really
Mm-hmm.
going there.
Yeah.
And I think that also, so many brand events and events I go to in general are just like so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do something really different and special. And so after we did the conversation cards, then we like went into dinner, and then there was like a cute little like photo booth, and there was a projector of Willie and like his quotes on the wall. I mean, it was very, very, very personalized.
Mm-hmm.
And again, very small scale event with very specific people that I knew would feel comfortable also being in a room together and
Mm-hmm.
getting vulnerable together. That was like a quiet win for me, just because this was a brand that I've been inspired for years. Like I knew
Mm-hmm.
what We the Urban was before it was even quotes. It used to be a digital online magazine, and I was like following Willie on Tumblr,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
So he's been
so
around for a minute.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been essentially a fan of his, and now he's a client, but also one of my really good friends. And to be able to host his first brand dinner, I mean, so many brands and so many agencies have approached Willie and wanted to
Mm-hmm.
do this for him. And the fact that he chose us was a compliment in itself. But just doing that, just small scale dinner,
Mm-hmm.
was so powerful for people. And they really went away. People didn't want to leave. We had to actually like kick people out at
Oh,
one point. We had
wow.
to be like, you guys, okay, it's time to go. People just kept
Mm-hmm.
talking just about their lives and connecting with people. And they were just like, we've never been to a brand event like this. This is very
Mm-hmm.
different. Like I said earlier, I don't like doing things that everybody else is doing.
I mean, you
So,
got to stand out.
yeah,
You
you
got
gotta
to.
stand
Yeah,
out.
because I feel like there's so many different like brand events and
Yeah.
activations and dinners and influencer focus that like you gotta separate yourself from
Yeah.
the pack.
And
Mm-hmm.
everything was just tailored. I mean, even down to working with Topicals, which is one of the few skincare brands that has a mental health platform attached to it, which is why we
Mm-hmm.
partnered with them. Like everything was very curated and intentional. And even when you walked in, like we had this projector of Willie, like with this campaign he did with Instagram, and we just had that like projecting off of the like long drapes of the wall. So like right when you
Mm-hmm.
walk in, you see quotes, you see Willie like walking in his like childhood neighborhood. Like it just felt very, very intimate,
It's amazing. I
Yeah.
love
And
that.
people were just excited to meet the person behind We the Urban.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody was like,
'Cause
oh
it's
my
just
God.
like, yeah, it's like a faceless,
Right.
faceless
So that
brand.
was also cool, is that people for the first time got to meet him. And we
Mhm.
had, I mean, everybody from like Uba from Real Housewives, but then we also had like people like Isan Alba and Ella
Mhm.
Emhoff, Kamala's daughter. I mean, so many amazing, great people were in the
Mhm.
room, but we didn't choose them because of who they are. We chose them because of what they stand for. And we knew that these were people who were influential within the mental health and wellness space, but also had been following We the Urban like before anybody even knew
Mhm.
what it was. So very, very intentional. And yeah, that was definitely like something that I felt like was just seemed like a quiet win for
I love
me.
that.
And
I
I'll
love
never
that.
forget about that dinner
Mhm.
ever.
I love it. I love it. So you helped create this series called Every Skin Has a Story.
Yeah.
And it's a series that connected beauty with racial justice. So what inspired that project and what impact did it leave on you both personally and professionally?
Yeah. So My mom and I were consulting for a skincare brand called Retrove at
Mm-hmm.
the time, and Retrove was created by the Kiehl's family, Jamie
Mm-hmm.
Heidegger, who grew up with her grandfather and father literally in the lab in diapers building
Mm-hmm.
skincare as a
Yeah.
kid. And she then went off on her own. She sold it to L'Oreal Paris, and now she has Retrove.
Mm-hmm.
And she really wanted to rebrand, and Lyric, my sister who is now in heaven, she loved Retrobay. It was really the only skincare she used
Mm-hmm.
before she passed away. And we did a collaboration with our fellowship, the Lyric McHenry Arts Fellowship, with Retrove for
Mm-hmm.
the first episode of Every Skin Is a Story.
Mm-hmm.
And originally, we just wanted it to be women. And we found this interesting, this is also something that Lyric would talk about a lot while she was still here, is how does racial and social justice show up in beauty, fashion, and skincare? And we wanted to start that conversation. And once we pitched it, the Retrobay team absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just doing live Instagram videos, you know,
That's
with
amazing.
different people who are influential in the
Mm-hmm.
space and who we could really speak to. And then what was the biggest honor is when Yara and Carrie Shahidi ended up coming to us and saying,
Wow.
like, we saw this show and we love it and we want to be on it. And this was just like a small
That's
Instagram live
amazing.
show.
When
you
people
know?
start reaching out to you to be on, it's an amazing feeling.
Incredible. And
Mhm.
so I was starting to realize that people really, like, this conversation was really fascinating to them. And we had so many amazing different types of people on there. I mean, we had Riza Flowers on there.
Love
who
her.
Was
Yeah.
one of the first people I met when I came to New York. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, we had everybody from like Beverly Johnson to Sam Fine to Miss Tina Knowles, Cookie
Love that.
Johnson. I mean, everybody. And what
Heavy
was
hitters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heavy hitters. And they just wanted to do it because
Mhm.
they were so, the subject spoke to them so much that it's like they wanted to do it. And they also knew that what was also special was that each episode, instead of, you know, paying talent a fee to show up for
Mhm.
the episode, we would allow them to choose an influential nonprofit or charity that they really loved, that they wanted to use that talent rate to go towards.
Mhm.
So instead of paying them directly, we would say, do you have a nonprofit? Do you have a charity? Do you have a brand that we can contribute to and uplift?
Mhm.
And that was something that a lot of the talent like wasn't used to at all. And I think that was also very meaningful because, again, like I said, the collaboration started off with our fellowship for my
Mhm.
sister Lyric. So we wanted to make sure that, and Jamie Heidegger is such a philanthropist herself, that we wanted to make sure to incorporate that element to it. So yeah, it ended up doing so well. And it's honestly, it's so funny to even look back because it was just something that my mom mentioned, you know,
Mhm.
on a call, and it was just such a great idea. And then we all just like jumped at it. We were like, okay, like how can we make this a real thing? And yeah, it's really, really beautiful. It's become, I'm so happy that, you know, people still even look back and they're like, is Every Skin Story gonna come back ever? You know, people still mention it.
Mhm.
And I think that's really cool.
Do you have plans for it to come back?
I
Would
don't
you
know.
ever, reboot it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that it's something that's so timeless. So I
Mhm.
think it can go on forever, you know? But I love that it was just like so impactful during that specific time because we released it like during COVID and like during
Mhm.
the Black Lives Matter movement. And, you know, it was a very scary time for people,
Mhm.
but especially Black people. And we needed to create some positive, uplifting art out there, but
Yeah.
also art
Mhm.
that allowed Black people, especially Black women, to be seen and validated.
I love
Yeah.
that. So we've talked a lot about your sister, right?
Yes.
So I want to dive into this more and give you more of a space to talk about her. So can you share more about the Lyric McHenry Community Arts Fellowship, what it means to honor your sister's legacy through that work, and what impact do you hope it continues to have?
Yeah. I always like take a moment sometimes.
Of course, take the time you need to take it. Do we have tissues? Tissues.
I think I'm good.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Breathing is so important. It's something that's so underestimated in like the wellness and mental health community is breathing. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I just need a moment, I just take a moment. I could be anywhere and I'll just like go into a bathroom really quickly, or like I'll just like
Mm-hmm.
breathing. It's amazing how much
It
you can
is.
do.
It is. It recenters
Because
you.
now I'm back with that couple breaths.
Mm-hmm.
So Lyric was such a mentor to people, and she always had this passion for just taking people under their wing. Like that was just who she was.
Mm-hmm.
And she always used to talk about internships specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and talk about how so many people, there could be, you know, your daughter could want to do an internship in Paris or New York or LA. Obviously, not everybody's family has the funds,
Yeah.
you know, to send their kids to where they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And with internships, they don't promise you the full-time job. Sometimes they take a lot of advantage of you. You're not paid what you're supposed to be paid. I mean, there's so many problems within internships.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. And they're not accessible to a lot of people as well at the same time. And like I said, not everybody's family has the funds to send their kid to do an internship when the job isn't even promised, and they're not even paying for your stay, your food, or like even how to get to the internship.
Yeah.
So Lyric always talked about, she always said, Maya, how are people supposed to get in the door if they can't even get to the door?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we really wanted to change. And after Lyric passed away, I immediately, once I could actually like somewhat get myself together during that time, I immediately told my family, I was like, we need to start a fellowship for Lyric at Stanford, and we can expand it other places later on, but let's have it specifically at Stanford, where she went to school, where my father went to school, where our family has a lot of influence. And let's create something, funded summer internships. Let's create a fund where students, especially students of color, who want to pursue a great internship, and we cover, you know, the stay, the food, the transportation, all these things that people don't even think about. And even when I was doing my internships, I mean, I've had like 6-7 internships, you know, and a lot of them promise like, oh, we'll pay for your lunch, or we'll pay for this, we'll pay for that. I mean, none of that happened, you know, none of it.
It's like, we'll give you a stipend at the end of the month that doesn't actually come at the end of the month, and you get it like 6 months later.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So nothing like this really existed in the world at the time. So I really, and Lyric wanted to do this, but she didn't have time to do it when she was still here. So I wanted to create something that she always wanted to do, but just didn't get a chance to. So that's why it was such a priority of mine, because losing her, I knew, you know, would be something that my family and I would be dealing for the rest of our lives. So I said, like, right now, let's create this fund right now. You know, it's always going to be hard. It's hard every day, you know, but like right now, let's create something meaningful. Let's turn our pain into purpose, you know, and it has been so purposeful and impactful for me that this is now created and that this exists. And it's specifically, we choose a certain amount of students each year at Stanford who have an interest in studying an internship that has to do with racial and social justice, and that can be in fashion, that can be in film, that can be in so many different things. We've had fellows intern at Disney, and one of them is now a Disney executive. You know, we also assist on helping them secure the internships, but also staying in their lives. We're not the type of family that's just like, oh, here's the money, bye, have a good life. We stay in your life forever. Like all of the Lyric McHenry fellows, they all have my personal cell phone number, and we talk, and beautiful. I catch up with them and I check in on them, and they're all doing so well. And it's because of the fellowship. I mean, Clarissa Carter, who's now a Disney executive, you know, I mean, she wouldn't have been able to get that job, you know, if it wasn't for the fellowship. And she's so happy with it, you know, and that's so rare to even secure the job at the actual internship that you're at,
Yeah.
you know. So to see, and they all say like, Maya, I don't know what I would have done like if we didn't have you guys supporting us, because this is my dream. And the internship, like, I gained so much experience, you know, it helped me meet this person, it helped me get into this store. So it's just so fulfilling for me, you know, to hear that and to see how well they're all doing. Another one of our fellows is an executive at FX. I mean, all of them are just doing so well and creating such meaningful, great work. And it's always hard selecting them, because whenever I talk to them, I'm like, all of you guys could run for president one day. Like, I can't even believe that you're in college. Like, this is just weird.
We probably need one of them as president.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
And it's specifically through IDA, which is their Black House at Stanford. So we're working with only students of color.
I love that.
So yeah, it's been incredibly fulfilling. Alon Halt leads it. And she was also our host for Every Skin Has a Story, and she leads the fellowship at Stanford, and it's just it's beautiful. And every year we have an annual luncheon to bring the fellows back together and to connect with them and see where they're at, but also to meet the new fellows and give them advice and like talk to them about where they are today. And then last year we actually had a panel for our lunch, and we brought in some of Lyric's really, really good friends who are just doing so well now, like Hannah Cecile, who is she is the person behind Instagram's actual account. And she went to Stanford with Lyric. She never thought she was going to get a job there, and she just broke it down for us in the panel.
That's
and
amazing.
These students need to hear that. These students need to know, yes, it's hard to secure these things, but it's doable.
Yeah.
And I wanted, you know, just this was Lyric's idea. Like I said, it was all of her idea, and she just didn't have the chance to do it while she was here. And it makes me feel just even closer to her. You know, whenever I'm on those Zooms with the fellows, I just like can see Lyric like laughing and smiling, and like I just like know like what she's saying and what she's thinking, you know.
That's beautiful though, that you guys are honoring her in such an amazing way. And obviously I've never met her, but the way you've described her is just, she seems like such a light and such a beautiful person. And we share the same name, which is amazing and crazy, and I love it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I've only met one other Lyric in my entire life.
Lyric is becoming more of a common name. I'm starting to meet more Lyrics. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much for like sharing this and feeling comfortable to share that part of yourself and your story here. So switching over to a bit of a more lighthearted topic, let's talk beauty. You know, like we love talking about beauty here at Mind Candy Beauty.
Yes.
And we like to go beyond the surface, right? Of just the outward beauty. So what does beauty mean to you personally, and how has that definition evolved over the years for you?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I would, again, like I shared earlier, I would go up to people and I'd tell them they're beautiful and just like interact with people. I remember in high school, there was this girl at my school, and I thought she was so beautiful, and I loved the way she dressed, and I just thought she was so cool. I was just like, oh my God, so-and-so is so pretty, and she dresses so well.
Yeah.
And I got to know her, and she wasn't a good person. And she was very dark and had a very mean spirit. And after I had that experience, growing up, my mom always told me and explained the power of inner beauty and exuding that. And she always told me, you know, like, we didn't work for this. This is how God blessed you. This is what you look like. But what's in here is what matters. You can meet somebody who's physically gorgeous or has great style or whatever, and then you can get to know them. And for me, their face changes. Like, their face changes.
It's
for
like
me.
you went from a 10 to a 2.
100%. It really does change for me. And growing up, it's inner beauty is left out of beauty conversations in general. I mean, it's so rare when I am listening to a conversation about beauty and they're talking about inner beauty. It's just very, very rare. And it's something that my mom instilled in me out of the womb. And I resonate with it so much more now because when I am exuding joy and putting
Mm-hmm.
smiles on other people's faces and people are saying, "Oh, Maya, you're so sweet," or "You have the best laugh," or "You made me feel so good today," that makes me feel so, excuse my French, so fucking beautiful. Like, I feel hot when
Mm-hmm.
someone tells me, like, when someone tells me, like,
You're like, oh, I'm bad.
yeah, like,
Like,
I'm hot. Like, when someone's like, "Oh my God, Maya, you get the best hugs," or I love the fact that, like, when you really, really laugh, you have that
hmm
awkward snorting. You snort when you laugh and you sound like a pig. That makes me feel beautiful. It
I
really,
love
really
that.
does. And
hmm
so for me, the definition of beauty has changed a lot because when I was younger, and my mom was telling me that, I didn't really 100% understand it until
hmm
I had those experiences. And then now it's like, it's hard for me to just see someone on the street and be like, "Oh, she's so pretty," or "He's so handsome," or
hmm
whatever, because I don't
hmm
know who they are.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about them.
But like even saying like I said earlier, like your aura, your energy, your vibe, top tier. That's why I was like, girl, we need to hang more after
Oh,
this. And like I rarely say
yes.
that.
Yes,
Like
yes.
you're such a beautiful spirit. Again, not just outwardly, but of course outwardly, but also,
Yeah.
inwardly. And it really shows. Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's literally a part of my beauty routine. Like, even
hmm
when I'm doing my makeup or doing my skincare, like, I'm just thinking to myself, because we're not perfect. We all have bad days, right?
hmm
But when I meet just like a stranger or just somebody who's just nice, it's hard to meet nice people, just like genuinely
hmm
like nice, good people. And that to me is the best compliment. I know it's like not a like something that's like super deep or anything, but when someone comes up to me and they're just like, "Maya, you're so nice." Like, that just makes me
hmm
feel so beautiful and so good, especially if it's somebody like I'm intimate with or somebody that I have feelings for. When
hmm
someone's talking to me about who I am as a person and then they follow up with telling me that how beautiful I am.
Because it's like obviously they're there for a reason. It's like we're human
Right.
beings. It's like you're looking at someone. It's like I'm sitting across from you in this moment, trying to get to know you in a romantic, intimate way. Like obviously, I think you're
Yeah.
beautiful. I think you're attractive.
Yeah.
But really hearing that, it's like I like your heart. I like where your mind's at. All the things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And when
hmm
I'm not exuding that and I do have my bad days, I try not to be too hard on myself, but I do feel ugly, to be honest with you. Like,
hmm
I struggled heavily with insecurity since I was a little girl. It's still an ongoing issue till this day. Like,
hmm
confidence, especially about my physical looks, has
hmm
been something that I've struggled with since I was a little girl. I've always been uncomfortable with how I
hmm
look for a
hmm
series of different reasons. So, when again, like I said, I mean, another example is like when I was in high school and I did this photography project, and my principal came over to me and he was like, "Maya, that photo that you took was so incredible and it spoke to me so much." I remember I had the biggest smile on my face because I was almost blushing after after he said that to me, because I
You're
just
like
felt,
what me?
I was like, "What, me?" Like,
I
you're
love how it's like those are the things that make you feel hot. Like.
it does. It really does. Versus like someone coming over to me and saying like, "Maya, you're so pretty," or "You're so
hmm
beautiful," or "You're so this." Like,
hmm
it kind of just goes out the other ear for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, sticking in the realm of beauty, fashion, all the things, what's one beauty or fashion trend you think is saying something deeper about where the culture is right now?
There's a few
Mhm.
right now. Uh I'll say like fashion is so much more multifaceted and diverse now. We still have a lot
Mhm.
of work to do.
Mhm.
But blending the like masculinity with the femininity, I just think is so great. Rihanna is does it seamlessly. Laura Kim, what
Mhm.
she's done with Monse, really like owning that like your masculine, like bossy side, I
Yeah.
think is like really, really powerful, and also just not constantly seeing straight people in campaigns.
Mhm.
Like, you
Yep.
are seeing
Yep.
all different types of
Mhm.
sexualities in
Mhm.
campaigns now. And I think that, like, when you see like the oversized blazers and like the suits and like all of those
I
things,
live for an oversized blazer.
same,
Live.
same. And honestly,
Mhm.
I feel so confident in an oversized
Same. Like
blazer.
it's like power suit.
Yeah,
Like mhm.
100%. And
Mhm.
it's not specifically catering to like the male gaze. So it's like, it's very, very powerful. And I think it's saying something so much more. Same with the bandage dresses coming back. I
Mhm.
actually just had this conversation with one of my clients, and I was actually talking to her about somebody that was wearing one, and I was just like, okay, this is not it. But it was just because of how they were wearing it. You can't let the clothes wear you. That's the thing.
That is true.
So when I saw the bandage dress on this specific person, I was just like, it's just not hitting for me, you know? But I see, like, again, going back to just like not catering to the male gaze, like those bandage, like Herb Leger dresses, it was literally my high school prom dress. And they were always like very sexy and like showed like your body and everything. But I feel like with Gen Zers, they don't focus on that. Like they don't focus on dressing for other people. They dress for themselves. So like they're
Even with makeup looks too. It's like you're not doing it for the male gaze anymore.
Exactly.
You know?
And like even with these bandage dressers, like they're pairing them up with like sneakers and like slides. You know what I mean? So it's just like they're making it.
Look, I'm doing the sneaker dress combo today. I love a good sneaker dress combo, honestly.
Right. So I feel like it's saying something more in the way where like these Gen Zers, like they're not, even if you feel like a lot of those bandage dresses too, it's like a lot of like tiny girls would wear them, you know, and it was only catering to a very specific type of body. Like Gen Zers, they don't care about that. They're going to wear whatever they want to wear. It's not for you. It's for them. So I think that that's really, really cool. And it's because of them that I'm now about to like pull out my old Herb Leger dress from prom in high school and start rocking it.
Love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to speed through these last two questions. So let's talk glam really quickly. What are your go-to beauty products that never let you down? Let's do like rapid fire.
Oh, rapid fire. Okay, this is so hard because there's just like so many. Okay. Anything Retrove just never lets me down, period.
Okay.
Every single one of their products has never ever in life let me down. So let me just start there.
Okay.
My Goop dry brush has never ever let me down. My mom was preaching about dry brushing literally out of the womb. So never lets me down. My skin always literally feels like a baby's butt. And then oh, it's so hard to choose. There's so many. Okay. I also, MAC Cosmetics. I'm a MAC girl, but I'm also a Chanel girl. So
we love a Chanel girl and a MAC girl.
Yes.
You can be both.
So for me, the Le Beige Healthy Glow sheer stick, I pretty much carry with me everywhere. I actually have it with me right now, and I use it for my lips, my cheeks, my eyes, everything. And then I'm a MAC girly, like I said, so you guys are your eyebrow tinters and gels are the only ones that I use. And also the plumping gloss, I also have that with me as well. I carry it with me everywhere. Yes, Squirt Bomb. Gosh, I have so many. Okay, Fenty Beauty, their edge control is the only edge control I use. Same with Frederic Fekkai. I don't put hairspray in my hair, but his hairspray I will use.
Like he's the exception.
Yeah. And lastly, Laura Mercier Vanille. I'm not saying it elegantly, but this scent, I've never changed this scent, and I've been wearing it since elementary school, and I've never ever changed it.
Wow, that's dedication.
Yeah,
that means it's a good product.
It's to the point where like people smell it like just around, and they're just like, "Is Maya around? Is she near?"
And then it's like I can sense Maya coming.
Yeah,
the fragrance is wafting.
They just like smell it on their clothes, or like they're like anything. They're just like, "Oh, Maya's around. Maya's near."
That's beautiful. Like having a signature fragrance, iconic, honestly.
I'm calling it out right now. I hope one day I get to work with Laura Mercier. Like that would be
that's
a dream.
You should have your own scent. Y'all.
Yes.
She should have her own scent.
Yes.
And then last question to close it all out. So again, like your career, always on, high pressure. It's the thing. Entertainment, fashion, beauty, it can be a lot. So how do you protect your peace? Are there any rituals, boundaries, or practices that really help you stay grounded and creative?
Yeah, it changes over time because as you grow and as you change, you have different needs. So sometimes like certain things that helped you even a few weeks ago won't help you today. So it honestly just depends on like what I really need. But I'll say that journaling is a really, really good outlet for me. I have like 50 different journals for different things, and I love just having the freedom to put pen to paper, and it literally it's a conversation literally just between me and myself, and it's word vomit, and I feel like it really, really grounds me, especially like when I have a long work day and I just want to like talk. I don't want anybody to know what I'm saying. It's just like, it is, the journal really does it for me, and it's always been like something just like consistent. And then I also will say I really like being around like water and nature. So just like going to Equinox and like doing the hot and cold plunges and like just interacting with water is like very, very healing for me. And lastly, I grew up riding horses. I am a horse. That is my spirit animal. I'm a unicorn. So anytime I'm at a stables, like I could literally fall asleep or live at a stables. It's so grounding for me. And unless horses are not in my life, I really don't feel like Maya. But I have a whole list of things, Lyric. I mean, I could go on and on about all the things that help, make me stay sane and like create a good balance for me. I would say the last most important one is having a great support system. I am so lucky with the support system I have, like the village of people, like my extended like godmoms and aunties and my mom and my dad and my very, very close friends who are like my sisters. Like having that support system is everything.
It's amazing. Support is so important. Yeah. Friends, family, all the things.
Yeah.
Maya, thank you so much for being here and doing this, and welcome officially to the Mind Candy Beauty fam. Yeah.
I don't want to leave. I just want to stay and hang out.
Same.
Yeah.
We're going to hang out more.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a wrap.
Woo!